Welcome to my demonstration on how to use Dragon Naturally Speaking from Access to IT. To start with, each user of Dragon has to have their own unique user profile. The more they use that profile, the better it gets. Also, if you have several different input devices, for example if you use a headset to dictate when you're at the computer and a digital voice recorder to dictate when you're away from the PC, you have to have different voice profiles for each of those. So over the next few minutes I'm going to explain how to create a user profile. So firstly, ensure that you have Dragon Naturally Speaking installed and running on your computer. Then on the Dragon bar, click on Profile and then Manage User Profiles. Then Dragon will show you all of the profiles you have already created. Then click on New. Dragon then asks you to input a name. It's really important that you put in a name that you're going to remember in the future and also one that's relevant to the input device that you're using. So for example, my headset that I'm using for this demonstration is a Plantronics CS60. So I'm going to type Lucy Plantronics CS60. Once you've got a name that you're comfortable with, click on Next. If you're using Dragon Premium, Dragon gives you the option to store it on the network, and then you can save your profile on the network and access it from whichever computer you're using. So then just select an area where you would like Dragon to be stored and click on Next. Then Dragon asks you how old you are. The reason it asks this is because all of the data collection it's collected over the past 20 years has allowed it to specify the pitch and tone of those specific ages. So select your age and then click on Next. Then you are asked which country you come from. It's really important to ensure you get this correct, as it really does change the formatting settings. So for example, when you click on United Kingdom and you finish creating your profile, when you dictate a full telephone number, it will put brackets around the first 5 numbers. If you select United States, it would have different formatting settings. So select the country you are from and click on Next. Then Dragon asks you which accent you have. I have a pretty standard accent, so I'll click on Next. Now Dragon asks you which input device you are using to create the profile. It's really important that you get this right, otherwise Dragon won't know which input device to take the recording from in order to dictate it to the computer. Normally, you get a microphone in the box that uses a mic-in jack. These are the 2 jacks that plug into the microphone and the headphone jacks. My microphone, however, is a USB microphone, so I'm going to select USB and then click on Next. Now you get the opportunity to review your choices. It's really important that you ensure every option is the right option for you, and once you've checked that, then click on Create. If you would like to edit any of these changes, then click on Back and go and edit them. Dragon is now putting in the 250,000 words that it already has in its dictionary and creating your profile. Then Dragon gives you a list of the microphones that are currently on the computer. You have to select the microphone that you want to use in order to use speech recognition. And then click on Next. Now here comes the fun part. You have to ensure that you put the microphone on correctly in order to get the most out of Dragon. So ensure that it is secured tightly on your head and that there's no more distance than a thumb's width away from your mouth. Once you have ensured that's the case, click on Next. Dragon then displays the volume check. This is really important as it adjusts a level of volume for the microphone that's suitable to the area that you're in and the volume of your voice. You may see on the right hand side, once you've started the check, the volume adjusting, and the blue bar will go up and down dependent on the volume adjustment. So when you are ready, click on Start Volume Check and read the paragraph above. While you are reading this, the computer will adjust your microphone volume settings and then beep to signal that the process is complete. Speak into the microphone as if you were talking to a friend in person. So, when you hear the beep, the microphone has been adjusted successfully. Then click on Next. Dragon then displays the quality check. This is really important and is testing the microphone and the quality of the microphone to ensure that it's suitable for speech recognition. So, when you are ready, click on Start Quality Check and dictate the paragraph above. For Dragon to recognise your voice accurately, it needs to check the quality of your audio system and your microphone. Speak into the microphone as clearly and as naturally as you did in the previous step. While reading this, Dragon is listening to you and examining the quality of your audio. I have now been shown the past screen, which means that my microphone is good enough quality in order to continue. So, once you are finished, click on Next. Dragon then gives you the opportunity to train your voice specifically to your user profile. I think it's important that you do this when you first start using Dragon if you are going to be using it a lot in the future. What it does is show you some text, which you then read aloud. Dragon compares what it's hearing to what it's expecting to hear, and then uses that file to create your profile and make it more accurate in the future. I'm going to skip this process for the moment. When you have finished the training section, click on Next. Now Dragon uses the files that it has just heard and the sound bites to create your accurate profile. This may take a few moments. Once Dragon has compared what it was expecting to hear to what you said, it then gives you the opportunity to have your emails and the documents you've already produced by hand scanned. By scanning these documents, it looks at the context and the frequency of the words you use and creates a language model so it knows what to expect in the future. If you use certain vocabulary that Dragon doesn't already have in its dictionary, it will add these words and then give you the opportunity to train them individually. This is really useful for things like brand names or other things that are specific to you. You can do this at a later date, and I recommend doing this as it takes around 5 minutes to 30 minutes, and you can't really use Dragon for anything else while you're doing that. So, deselect those options and click on Next. Then Dragon gives you the opportunity to switch on Automatic Improve Accuracy selection. This basically is a simple reminder for you to use the accuracy improvement tools that come within Dragon. Select whether you want that or not, and then click on Next. Then Dragon asks you if you want it to run data collection. Basically, it collects your files and sends them to the company that produced Dragon in order for them to use it in the future to help their program. Once you've selected the option that you'd like, click on Next. Then your profile is ready to use, so all you need to do is click on Finish. Then, a tip of the day is displayed. These tips can come up every time you open Dragon if you'd like. If not, deselect Show Tips at Startup and click on Close. Then, the first time that you use your profile, the Dragon sidebar will appear. Like with the tips, you can tell Dragon to make this not appear every time you open the profile. The Dragon sidebar is a really useful tool and can be used as an aide memoir for the commands you need to navigate around your computer by voice. It gives you 3 different options: either Home, which are the global commands or the commands that are relevant to the application that you're using, then Mouse commands, and then My commands. These commands are the ones that you've made yourself. So, your profile is now ready to use.